history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony Cty, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is your favorite program, the Hour of Politics. We are here to talk about politics in a different dimension. Hit that share button for all, share the broadcast with somebody. A member of our community has a political interest, and she is here to talk about that. And we have questions. The House of Representatives is the goal. Welcome to the broadcast. My guest is Massa Dopoh. Massa Dopoh is a 2023 representative aspirant for district number 14 in the upcoming 2023 election. And so, folks, we want to say welcome and let us get to it. At this time, I will welcome my guest, Massa Dopoh. How you doing? Welcome.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks to my family. Focus on Liberia. I can remember the last time I was here. The last time I was on the show, I got into a big problem, but anyway, we'll save it for a little bit. But thanks for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here and to be able to discuss the future, some of the most important things in our district and why I decided to take on this task. So thanks for having me, and to my Focus on Liberia family, I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are also excited. You have followed Focus on Liberia. You participated here. You play host here. Sometimes in the past. And to see that you are making the big decision, it only excites us because we believe it's for a good cause. But let's get to it. The first big question here we have for you is, why are you running for the House of Representative post in Liberia and not in the United States, where you have lived for some time now? Why Liberia?
Because Liberia is the place I was born and raised. I'm a Liberian. Everywhere I go, everybody knows me to be a Liberian, to be a born and raised Liberian. And so that's where my story began. That's where my heart is. And that's where I have always want to be. So that's why I'm running to contest the election in my district, especially District 14. That's where my journey began, and that's where I was born and raised. So I can never abandon it. I don't care how many years I stay abroad. District 14 remains my hometown, remains the place that I will always put above anything.
So for those who are not familiar with District 14, can you describe District 14 for us in terms of geography, the location?
So District 14 is right in Montserrado County. It's right Far Time, it's Clara Time, it's Doe Community, it's Jibra Time, it's Freeport, Cow Factory, some part of Cow Factory, Freeport, Petit Time, basically. It's just what I just thought. Yeah. So if you are in any parts of that area, you are in District 14. Until we can get the new census result, then we will be able to give you a different information. But for now, that's District 14.
All right. So when someone is running for like representative position, either they decide to run as an independent or to run on a political party's ticket, which one are you going with and why?
Well, when I begin this journey, my focus has been to contest as an independent candidate.
Mhm,
But I'm still exploring the options.
mhm,
And I also have advisors who have told me upfront that it's good to go on. It's good to go as an independent, and also
mhm,
good to go on a political party ticket. So I have both options that I'm weighing right now. But my
mhm,
most focus is to contest as an independent candidate. So if I get in time, which of course I'm scheduled to be in time in the next 2 weeks.
mhm.
So once I get to Monrovia and, now I'm on the ground and I'm meeting with political leaders or political parties, and I'm also looking into the possibility of going as an independent candidate. Then before the election, we'll be able to decide whether we are going as an independent candidate or we are going as on a political party ticket. But as of now, I am an independent candidate.
So you weigh your options. That means that, like you said, you are looking at the other option of running on a party's ticket. In any case, you might be looking at some of the parties maybe that are a little stronger in Montserrado County. And you say you have started talking to some of them already or not yet?
No, I haven't had any political discussion with any party yet.
Okay.
I said I'm exploring. My
Mhm,
main focus here is to run as an independent candidate.
mhm,
But again, I have two options: either to run as an independent candidate or to run on a political party ticket. Whatever way works for me. At the end of the day,
mhm.
my people are going to be focused on the candidate Massa Dopoh. So
Okay.
yes, they are going to be focused on the candidate Massa Dopoh, what she brings to the table, what she has done in our district over the years, and her dedication to public service. Those are the things that they are going to be wearing. They are not going to be weighing whether or not she's on this party ticket or she's on that party ticket. But those are the two options that we have, and we will make use of it.
So, what are the factors you have considered here in the United States before making the decision to run for office in Liberia?
You know, let me just tell you a little thing about myself.
Mhm,
Sometimes I try not to plan. And sometimes I do plan. I do plan for the future, and sometimes I try not to plan, but then take advantage of opportunity when it presents itself.
mhm,
So my desire to run for, how you call it, for District 14
mhm.
as the next representative is not something that I've planned over the years. No, I did not plan it over the years. It's something that I have studied um, for the last 3 years. When I say study, not that I want to contest as
Mhm.
a representative, but I've intensively studied the living condition of the district. I've studied my people. I've studied the condition. I've listened to their cries. I'm in Liberia every year. Sometimes I'm there twice a year, sometimes once a year. And I'm
Okay.
always in the district doing what I'm good at doing, meaning going from place to place, school to school, meeting with the students and also talking to parents and business people and other and stuff like that. So I've studied my district over the years. And as a child, when I was in our district, Anthony, it was like me growing up, mentoring young children who came after me and telling them that they are the future leaders of our district,
Mhm,
that they were going to grow up and have the basic life services. Some of these children that I met or when I was in that district, because I had
mhm,
a library there where I was teaching children, I was totally involved with district community service work in the district.
mhm.
And these children, they are all adults like me, and they have kids now. And the living condition, their struggles, their stories have not changed.
And so, Mars, if I may here, what you saying and explaining there is something we all can connect to, especially those of us who live in Liberia. for the longest, experience hardship and all that. We can relate to that. But you are saying the best way to be of help, to the children, to the district, is
Yeah.
to become a representative, because there's
It's
so much
it's
good you can
it's
do without being a representative. Have you not considered that?
and that is true. There's so
Hmm.
much good that you can do without being a representative, but there are so much opportunities. The
Hmm.
bigger platform. When you
Hmm.
hear people say we want to have a seat at the table,
Hmm.
it's not because they can't afford to impact one or two person life. The only reason why they want to have a seat at the table because they need that big platform. Well,
Hmm.
when they are doing something, it will impact a community, a larger community. I'll tell
Hmm.
you over the years, and in fact, when I was in Liberia as a child, I did my best as a community resident, as a child. I
Hmm.
did my best. When I came from Liberia, had an opportunity to come to the US, I continued to do my best. But how many person is my best impacting?
and,
But do
and,
you
and
think, Anthony, that if I have a bigger platform, like the representative of the district, do
mhm.
you know how many impact I'm going to have, or how many effects going to have on the district and even the lives of the people in the community? So that's the bigger platform that I need.
Emas, that a lot of people, or some people who are representatives, some even senators, right? So they have this what you call B platform that you are opting for. Do
Yeah.
you know of any of them with that B platform, representative or senator, who has done so much good as you intend to do?
Let me tell you, in our society, our people, some of us, we crave for bigger platform, and
Mhm.
once we get it, we don't
Mhm.
know how to utilize it. We don't know how much impact. We don't know how much lives depend on us. So these people who are not, who refuse to use their platform to impact the living condition of their communities and their people
Mhm.
are the problems in our country.
And you're going to be different.
Yes,
And how?
because I know the importance of being a representative. I know that as a representative, I should be in a house of representative. I should be writing bills. I should be writing programs. I should be writing laws that will impact the lives of everyone and not just my pocket.
Mas, you are aware that we have a lot of laws. We have laws even on rape. You agree with me? Rape cases have been on an increase. So it's
Mhm.
this one thing to make the laws. That will be your role if you are elected to make laws, to pass bills. At the end of the day, somebody will have to implement them, and it may not necessarily be you, right?
Yeah,
So,
it might not necessarily be me, but I will
mhm,
also have an oversight responsibility to make
mhm.
sure that those laws are implemented and that the people benefit from the laws or the bills. And that's what we don't have in our society. We want to write on piece of paper, we want to pass it, we want to go to section and say, oh, we have passed this bill. But then what is the follow up to the since the passage of this bill? Who's going to implement this bill? Who's going to ensure that the bill that was just passed is implemented and that people who are supposed to benefit from it, or the community that's supposed to benefit from it, are actually benefiting from it? So that's the oversight responsibility that we also have. And a lot of our people in the house, they don't know the importance of their role.
It's obvious you are also suggesting or indicating here that many of our lawmakers have failed for obvious reason. Have you done yourself the favor of doing an assessment to see what, if we can agree, many of them have failed so badly for, so that you too will not fall in that same trap? Have you, done that for yourself to know why they have failed?
I just explained.
Mhm.
It's just not knowing
What to do?
your functions.
Okay.
Just not knowing your function as a
Mhm.
lawmaker. in my district. I don't want to go to other lawmakers because we're gonna sleep here.
Right.
Um, and I don't even want to go in depth into
Mhm.
my current representative for our
Mhm.
district
Okay.
who has been there for 12 years because
Mhm.
like I said, this campaign that I'm running is more about my run for office is more about educating my people
Mhm.
and making sure that they really have a clear understanding of the role that I'm running to contest.
Thank you.
So that would be the focus of my campaign. That would be the focus of my run for office to be able
Mhm.
to educate my people.
Mhm.
So people doing our campaign, our electoral process, you will see people because they are so worthy, they got money, they got resources, they come to our people and be able to buy their votes. You know,
And we'll get to the money side. I want to
it's
ask you quickly here,
yeah,
if you don't mind, Mas.
yeah.
Constitutionally speaking, you are qualified. If my service is right, you have to be, I think, about what, 25 years to run for the House of Representative, right? So you are qualified. But again, that is a job that requires experience so that you can be able to serve well. So the question is, what uniquely qualifies you to your advantage and maybe to the disadvantage of your possible opponents in this race?
What uniquely qualifies me.
Mhm.
So, sometimes I try not to um, bring out education,
Mhm.
but just looking at my educational background, my
Mhm.
professional background,
Mhm.
and looking at my level of experience,
Mhm.
somebody might argue that, oh, she didn't work in Liberia. No, I work in Liberia. I work at the Liberian Senate uh,
Mhm.
as a secretary to the late
Okay.
Senator Johnson,
Okay.
and I was very, very vocal, even though I was working there. And every session that Senator Johnson attended with high-profile government officials or even with international leaders, I was present with him, taking notes, listening as a young, but then I was young. Um, and so when I came to America, I decided to advance myself. So I went to school. I have multiple academic background that qualifies me for that job. And even now, as somebody who works within government institution in the state of Delaware and has been fortunate enough to, read about bills and create bills on different programs and activities within the state of Delaware, which of course it places me at a very high level of understanding when it comes to laws and
Mhm.
the way things are supposed to be done in our country. So I am coming to this job or to this position with years of experience,
Okay.
and just understanding the basic needs of our people and how, in ways that I'm going to address them, um, also is a plus for me
Thank
because
you.
that's where I am right now with my current position with the state of Delaware.
Earlier you wanted to talk about money, and you were right to have brought it up, and so let's talk money because well, as you stated, once you put your hat in the race, it's like everybody wants you to be responsible for their medical bills and other things when you have a campaign to run. So my question is, have you counted the cost, Miles? Do you have the money and other resources that you would need to run for office?
You know, when I decided that I was going to contest for this position,
Mhm.
money wasn't a factor, number one factor for me.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I have it. I don't have it. That's why it's not number one factor for me.
Mhm.
And my campaign is not focused on money. It's not focused on sharing money with anybody.
Okay.
And I'm very clear on that. And another thing is that I'm not running for this office with the mindset that I'm forced to win. I'm forced to win, meaning I got to go broke. I got to go credit here and there. I got to do this because I want to win. That's not
Mhm.
it. And my run for the office is to really be able to change the narrative in our district. The current representative we have in our district, he's a very worthy man. There's no way a young woman like me is going to compare my source of income that I labor for with him to his. I'm
Mhm.
not even going to make comparison. And
Mhm.
whoever is contesting against him or in the race as well, I'm not going to compare my income or my source of income with anybody. I never compare. I'm not a person who does that to make comparison. Or I'm in this race because I want to provide an alternative to good leadership,
Okay.
an alternative. But I'm sorry, I
Okay.
want to be able to provide an alternative to good leadership for our people. Sometimes, like I said, 3 years ago, I did an intensive assessment and I met with people, I talked to people. And in fact, one time I went to our intellectual center in the district. I was talking to young people. I'm like, what can we do for our community? What can we do for our society? And then somebody raised the issue of the quarter, the separating. How do we get it fixed? So I'm like, we have a representative in this country, in this district. Do you guys ever come together as young people to have a meeting and then reach out to the representative and see how best the representative can reach to whichever ministry is responsible to ensure that a good sanitation system is set up in the district? They said no. I said why? Because they are afraid. And the
Mm.
only reason why they are afraid because during election time, a lot of the candidates, they use money. They use money to buy votes. And a lot of our people, because of the situation their current situation, they allow these people to buy their votes. So during the election, you have already signed contract with these people. They bought your votes. You voted for them. So now they become representative or senator. You are not brave enough to go and question them or to hold them accountable. So that's the narrative that I'm going to change. And
All right.
my campaign is going to be supported by the people in the district. And I said, even if that 5 cents, I will appreciate it. 5 cents you contribute to the campaign, it means you are part of it. Today
And
or
and and and,
tomorrow,
and here's the mindset though. Let me throw that in there. Here's the mindset of our people, which is a reality. Oh, she's from America. She got the money. She's bringing the money, and now you gonna be asking the very suffering masses in your district that you talk about. Say, hey, support this for your own good, for your own benefit. You think how you gonna convince them? You think they're gonna listen to you when others are throwing money at them
let
while they
me
are hungry?
look, Anthony, let me just
Yes.
tell you,
Hmm.
we can normalize things. We can continue to normalize the wrong things.
I
In
agree.
fact, one of the things that even the House of Representatives and Senate need to do is to
Hmm.
really be able to pass a law that will ban candidates from
Hmm.
buying voters, that will ban them from buying voters or paying
Hmm.
money for votes.
Okay.
You look around you today, all the countries that are successful, all the countries that are successful are citizens in their communities who demand from their lawmakers or their leaders what they deserve.
Okay.
And the only reason why they are brave to do that because nobody purchased their votes and their rights. So they are brave to do that. So that's our campaign strategy. And when people in District 14 are listening to me, this is it. We gotta change the narrative. I do not have money to share on anybody.
All
I
right.
do not have money to share on anybody, but you know what I have?
No.
I have ideas that we all can sit together and craft.
All
I
right.
have programs that everybody can benefit from. Like the going, I'm even, let me tell you, Anthony, I'd rather take money to invest it in healthcare that would benefit everybody. Like the going are going now. I get tons of drugs. You know how many people in our country sick? I'm talking to doctors. I'm talking to nurses. You know, and these are the things that they are telling me, Massa. We
Thank you.
gotta do it in a district. So we got health fair coming up. We need everybody to attend the health fair, go and do a thorough checkup. So the
Mhm.
district people, the residents, they don't want that. They want Massa to
Thank
go
you.
to take money and get rid of people. No, come for the
Thank you.
health fair. We're gonna be having a district wide cleaning or campaign. We
Thank
want
you.
people to come and join us. Let's clean up our neighbor, that our neighborhood. Let's clean
That
our
makes sense.
houses. And we're
That
gonna
makes
be
sense.
distributing cleaning supplies. So you don't want that?
Thank you. And Maz, you spoke about changing the narrative. I like that, and I think it's something that we all need to encourage, right? So let's talk about changing the narrative as a candidate. You well know you live here in America. Sometimes dirty campaign, finding dirt on your opponent, works. People go to the gutter, politically speaking, to diminish the chances of their opponent to give them the edge. So let's change the narrative here. That is the words you are using. My question is, what will you do differently as a candidate that will give you the winning edge and give you the traction that you need to pull through?
Well, I'm going to be focused on my platform.
Okay.
I'm going to be focused on the needs, the challenges that my people in my district are faced with.
Mhm,
I am not going to be focused on somebody's bedroom.
mhm.
I'm going to be focused on the issue. If even the current representative, I don't need to go digging behind him. He hasn't done anything for our district. So those are things that I can even list and send to him or talk to him about. He would say, yeah. He would say, yes, my daughter, that's true. You know, this is somebody I grew up with. He would say, that's true. You understand? So I don't need to go dig behind anybody to get the worst out of them. If you want to hold somebody accountable, hold it accountable to their job.
But Mars, during political campaign, it's also a good time to apply what I believe in, naming and shaming. Do you believe in naming and shaming people for bad behavior publicly, especially when they are in a public space? Do you believe in that?
Yes.
So
If
why
it's
if
if
a
if
what?
it's if it's necessary,
Mhm.
if it's going to have if it's going to if their behavior is harmful to the district and the
Mhm.
public or the
Mhm.
citizen, yes, I believe in that. But Anthony, if I tell you about um I don't even know which example to give you, but let's say for example
So
somebody
let's put it this way, Mas. So
if
a
somebody
voter,
let, let,
a
let's say
voter. Okay, go
let's
ahead.
say for example if somebody
Mhm.
say, oh, but Massa Dopoh is single. I
Mhm.
mean, what's the impact on the man who cannot even get a job? What's the benefit? Who's gonna benefit from that? For Massa Dopoh being single, or Massa Dopoh is single but then she's successful.
Mhm.
So what's the impact that it's gonna have on that household who cannot even afford a decent meal a day? So those are the things that I'm not gonna waste my time on trivial things. When it comes to things that are going to impact, it's going to affect, or is harmful to our people in our district, I will address it. And don't get me wrong, I can go water sometimes. I can go water. You go water.
I know you to be a fighter. That's why I
Right.
asked that question.
So yeah, so it's possible that we're gonna shrink. It's
Mhm.
possible that we're not gonna shrink. But we leave it all open. And any attack from anywhere, we'll try to it once, but then twice we're not gonna it. We're gonna
And,
get
and
back.
now that you brought your single status in here, Liberia is a highly traditional, society. Why if
Okay.
one of your opponents say, "Hey, That young lady is not married. We can't trust her. What would be your response to that kind of campaign?
You see, that's just like me laughing about it, right?
Right.
Because okay, let's look at the person who's asking this question, who claims to be married and
Hmm.
is he ready committed to his marriage?
Hmm.
Is he ready treating his wife with respect and dignity?
Hmm.
Um, I mean, who knows? I might get married before I even get in the race. Who knows?
Are you suggesting there's this saying that when a blind man say I will stone you, that means
No,
they got
but
some. Anyway, let's leave that. Hmm.
I choose to be single.
Hmm.
Yeah, I chose to be
and
single.
and and we all should respect that on a serious note, man.
Yeah, I
But
chose to be
may I
single.
ask, yeah, so you are running in district. I know you try to talk about the issues that confront constituent in that particular district, but I want to give you more time to pin them for us who are not familiar with your district. So what are the issues facing the district? All right. And what are the ideas and programs that you have already, put into place or to tackle them?
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm,
That's a beautiful question.
mhm,
You know, some of the issues that when I did my research, not even like research, me doing the research, um,
mhm.
we came up with so many things,
Okay.
so many things we came up with
Mhm,
because the issues are many. But
mhm,
then we were like, okay, we don't want to be like the people who have normalized bad behaviors in our country
mhm.
or lies to be to get away with lies. We don't want to lie to our people.
Right.
We want to look at the most important issues in our community and see how best we can start to address now, even before we become representative. And then we came up with the SHIP framework. We said that sanitation,
Mhm,
if you have been, if I mean, you were born and raised in Liberia, but you know exactly. When I take, for example, I take Claritin, I
mhm,
take Doe Community, I take Petitin,
mhm.
those communities, or even Chiprata, those communities that I'm calling, you know exactly the issues when it comes to sanitation. We
Yeah.
don't have a good sanitation system in our district.
Mhm.
And we know exactly how important sanitation is to the point where it was even referenced in the how you call it was referenced in the Sustainable Development Growth.
Yeah. Report.
Yeah, 6.2. It was
I think most of those people are living in the swamps. Rainy season
yes,
time is tough for them.
it is. And
Mhm,
even our houses that in our district,
mhm,
every rainy season we get people like renting in my 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 my, my parents' houses that
mhm,
renting are free,
mhm.
that live in there. Get complaints all the time during the rain season. Dry season is fine, but rain season is worse. And you understand? So we look
Mhm.
at sanitation. We say we need to address the issues of sanitation because we know that sanitation can promote, it can protect and promote health. And we
Mhm.
know that it can also protect our environment against pollution. So
Okay.
that's one. That's S, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And we
S.
look at the issue of healthcare.
Mhm,
We say, look at healthcare system in our country for God's sake. Look at the health situation in our country. Our people cannot even, I drove for 3 hours yesterday to meet a doctor in, um, I think it was Northeast Philadelphia
mhm.
last night for three
Okay.
hours because she's one of those who is spearheading my health fund fair next month in the district.
Okay.
So I drove for 3 hours to go and meet her, and we're talking about the issues of healthcare. See how people are dying from the smallest situation, the smallest things in Liberia, my district. And you know how many family members and friends who lives, innocent lives, young life, just left this planet because of simple thing. So we need to address that.
Okay.
So that's the issue. And then we talk about education. Look at our district. Anthony, one day you guys are going to be fortunate enough to tour with me in that district. And then you're going to thank me later for the choices I make in picking the issues affecting our people. We look at education. When I was a child in that district, Anthony, the education I was afforded is even better than now.
Wow.
Yes, it's better than now. Even the community schools that we went to, Clarendon Elementary School, Murphy Sodi, AGM, all these schools in our district, they have been destroyed. Poor maintenance, no investment in education, no investment in education. You understand?
Mhm.
So we say we need to invest in education, and this is the reality of my educational platform. We're going to invest in early childhood education. I know this is something that is not common to our society, but
Mhm.
it's important.
Very important.
It's important. Look at people graduating today from out of college, they cannot even read and write good. You understand? But it's that first education that they miss, that all of us miss. And so we need to give that to our people, to our children who are coming after us. We need to give it to them. And then we invest in elementary, secondary, post-secondary, high school. And then I said, I don't want to focus on college, going to 4-year college.
Okay,
I
that
want
would
to
not be a
focus.
focus.
I want to focus on technical and vocational skills education. It's important. College should be optional when people want to go to college. College should not be the only reason why you should have a job. You can be skillful. So those are the things when it comes to education that we are going to invest in. Then we look at how you call it. We look at empowerment.
Empowerment.
How many of our people are empowered in our society? Every time we want to blame them. You understand? I understand sometimes people can be lazy, some families, some friends can be lazy, but sometimes as officials or government or representatives or senators, let's say leaders in our society, have we really asked ourselves, what did we do?
So the empowerment, how are you going to carry on this empowerment? How are you going to do it in the district?
So we want to be able to we have different stages of empowerment that we're going to focus on. So
Okay.
we look at individual empowerment. So individual empowerment is basically just giving people the opportunity that every individual is unique, they're special, they're different, and we try to work with them one-on-one and understand their needs and their challenges. You understand? And
Mhm.
then we talk about gender role, gender empowerment. How
Mhm.
many women do you see coming forth? I attended a political rally somewhere, and I was sitting on the table. We were just like what, 3, 4, 5 women that were in
Mhm.
our audience. And then one of my friends, she said, why is it we don't see women coming, to these functions? And I said, because they always want to keep women at the back. And to my greatest surprise, doing their
So who are we keeping the women at the back? Is it not the women keeping themselves at the back, or people really doing that? Who doing that?
sometimes they are not just keeping themselves at the back because they
Okay.
want to do it,
Mhm.
because the opportunity is not created for them in our society, because people shame them, like you and myself were just talking that, oh,
Mhm.
that's our politics. People are going to say, oh, Massa Dopoh is not married, so why Massa Dopoh marital status get to do with the job that she's capable of doing,
Mhm.
so those are things that other women would feel shame about,
Mhm.
and are things that other women like me, I would not be ashamed about, because
Mhm.
I bring so much to the table than just wearing a ring. You understand?
Right.
Mhm. So we need to empower our women to take roles, to challenge themselves, to come. We need to close that gap. So that's the gender empowerment that we're talking about, to close that gap. And then we talk about social empowerment. Social empowerment basically is just helping people to find their voice, to be able to speak out against a negative or toxic aspects of our society. We don't have that. When people speak out nowadays, it's either you are enemy to this person, they consider you to be their enemy, or even if you are in a competition with somebody. And so then, do you know people are frequently used to talk to since I declare my intention? It's like somebody telling me, say, we'll meet at a barricade. Can you imagine? Yeah, you know. So, like, why would you want to meet somebody at a barricade? Would it
Because
because
this is a serious decision, so people are serious about it and they want to engage, maybe.
right? So you see, that's the social empowerment that other people are scared of, but then some of us we will be brave enough to be able to speak out against us in our society and be able to stand up for what is right. And then we talk about educational empowerment. We want to be able to provide free access to high quality educational resources for our people. We want to do
So
that.
how do you do that? Because if you are a representative, I'm not sure your role is to build schools. So how do you achieve that when elected, the empowerment when it comes to education? How are you going to do it?
Um, First of all, when it comes to education, when it
Hmm.
comes to the laws regarding education, it comes from the legislature.
Hmm.
So we need to look at our laws on education. We
Hmm.
need to look at educational reform. The
Hmm.
things that we have in our laws when it comes to education, are they
Hmm.
working? Everything that I let's say, those are things that comes from the legislature. Are they working? If they are not working, then we need to change it. How do we change it? How
And,
do we change it?
and then
Mm,
the issue of funding, Maz,
yes,
the budget on education, every time I look at it, I just feel that it's not enough,
it's
you
not.
know. So what level of advocacy that you will take to your colleagues if you are elected to see reason to increase not only your district educational budget, but the entire country?
It's just making people to see the reality of things that are not working, that they have been doing for so long. It's
Mhm.
not working, but nobody wants to say it's not working. And they know within themselves that it's not working, you know. So we will be able to tell them that this thing that you have on paper for so, and you know, Liberians are so used to saying, they think we've been doing it like this, so y'all not bring out your thing where you live in your America, yeah, y'all not bring in our country. So it means that, and you see the things that we learn in America, the things that are happening in America, you seeing the outcome, the positive outcomes of it. But you still telling people, say, don't bring that thing here. So we're gonna bring that thing there because it's working.
All right. Let's talk about term limits for all elected positions in Liberia. The question is, do you have plan to pass a bill when elected, to limit term limit to limit the terms of elected positions in Liberia? Senators, representative, president, anything you're thinking of right now?
I don't have the power to pass a bill, but I have the power to lobby. It's my right
Mhm.
to
Okay.
lobby with colleagues
Mhm.
and to be able to look at the term limit and say, you know what, this is too much. And obviously, it's too much. I spoke against it so many times that people should not be having 6 years as representative. People should not be having 9 years as senator, especially in a society where people are not working, they are not productive,
Mhm.
um, even for their people. All they care about is to just go and collect their income and collect their resources, and that's it. So we should not be doing that. We should at least, me looking at, we should at least have 3 years, have 5 years, three
3 years
years,
for
5 years.
okay. Explain
Yes,
that 3 years for which position and 5 years for which position.
representative,
Mhm.
representative, senator,
Mhm. Okay. What's about the presidency?
The presidency can be 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
Okay. So you want to be a lawmaker. There are a lot of laws that have been passed in Liberia, and some people disagree with some of the laws. Let me give you an example of one. There's a law that has been passed in which all elected officials in Liberia would not contribute to their pension. They call it non-contributory pension scheme. Senators and representatives,
Yeah.
including presidents and judges, they will receive pension after they should have left office, and they will not contribute a penny to that. I hate that law. Do you know of some laws in Liberia that you disagree with?
I don't even like the law you just talked about. I don't
Mhm,
even like it. And I spoke
mhm.
against it.
Okay.
There's no way that somebody who is not working, no longer working for
Mhm,
taxpayers, even when they were working, they did not contribute to their pension. And then
mhm.
when they retire, that the Liberian people should continue to take care of them. There's no way that should happen. At least to say that's an elected office over there. That's an elected office. Why you want somebody to be taking care of you when you leave office? You're not working for them. Why you wanting to take care of you? That's cruelty to me.
Any other one that you know of that is not in the interest of the people that you disagree with and you would like to see change?
Yeah, it's the funny thing about our country, right? And
Okay.
it's something that, by the grace of God, that will be changed.
Okay.
When it comes to laws, the citizen should have an input. Anything that's gonna affect anybody, they should have a say in it. And you know how I learned that when they came up with this care act, because some of us we don't really follow until you are in certain position, then you get to see how
Mhm,
important these things are.
mhm,
So when the care act was passed, when Biden came in office and the care act was passed, there were so many changes that were made. You know, during Daniel John time, they tried to change some of his stuff and stuff like that. So I care act, my director, actually, division of social services, actually told me to review it because there were programs that our policy unit was responsible for, and we needed to review it and be able to create laws in a state of Delaware that will align with the federal laws. So, and in order for that law to pass, like become a law, or for that bill or anything to become a law, the citizen, it must be posted online for the citizens to make comments on it. And when they comment on it, we have to respond to their comments. I don't care how long it takes. We have to respond to their comments. So laws in Liberia, they don't even share it with the citizens. The citizens they're passing the law for, they don't even know about the laws. I mean, let's be honest. Is that how?
There is another law that I'm familiar with. That is the one that talk about how much anybody running for office in Liberia should pay
Yes.
as registration fee or certification fee at the National Election Commission.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I checked, for president, we were talking around, I believe, 15,000, and it comes down to senator. So overall, the amount that the Lord is asking for, in my judgment, is so huge, thereby making it difficult for any poor citizen to contest, even if they are qualified.
because
Well,
because it tells you the cruelty of our nation and those who were privileged to serve us. You see, in Liberia, people want to be fighting for position that they cannot even commit 1% of their time, their actual real time, their honest time to. So because they are opportune, they're getting 10,000, they're getting 30,000, they have other contracts that are cutting here and there, and so they can never go broke. So they don't want my Lucy daughter who is sitting over there, who her people believe in her leadership, and she has done so much for her community, and her people want her to represent them. They don't want her to be privileged to run for office. They want only them to have that opportunity because they got the money and the resources. So they want to continue to use it to remain in power. That's a selfish law. And that's cruelty. That's not even a law. That's cruelty. And you know what is even shameful is the fact that Liberia has been through war against themselves. They have
Okay.
killed each other, war against themselves. And yet we can learn from killing each other. We
Thank you.
continue to do the things that will make us to hate each other, create animosity for each other, and continue to kill each other. That's what we can learn from.
Thank you.
So, in my view, until we can really go in with force and change so many things in our society will not be anywhere closer to even how you call it. It will just continue to be in our third world country status. And we have been there for so long, since 1847 now.
That's true, Mas. That is so true. I have to ask this question though. I've started following Liberian politics now, maybe 3 years now. All
Mhm.
along, I've never had time until Dennis Dia got me into this trouble. And for the 3 years I've been following now, what I've come to learn is most of the time the voters don't vote for new faces.
Yeah,
It's obvious you are a new face.
yeah,
So the question is most of the new face coming from America.
yeah,
And there are some people that may say, what? All the jobs in America, and this is where
yeah.
she comes to find a job. So the question is the fact that these people are not, they don't usually vote new faces. Uh,
Mhm.
what should be any reason they should vote for you as a new face in their judgment?
Um, that's a beautiful question, but I
Mhm.
should say that I am now a new face
Okay.
when it comes to my country, Liberia.
Okay.
When it comes to my district, I am not a new face.
New face.
And I know people will bring politics. Oh,
I,
she
I,
is.
I use that same baby face. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
People will bring politics. She comes
Mhm.
from America. And so what? And so what? Oh, when I come here every year to do something in the community, I'm considered a Liberian. But when I come in my community to contest for office, then I come from America. Anthony, that's not going to work with me.
Okay.
It's not going to work with me. I'm a born and raised Liberian. I will remain a Liberian until death do us part. Period.
Amen to
And
that.
so people should come to me. And that's what I said. And you know what's strange? I was talking to a young person, and they told me that one of the candidates in the race had invited them for a meeting. And somebody had told them about me contesting the election. We had a chat, and this other young person, but Mas, you have done so much for the district. Why you say your name is not what it comes? I said, because what I was doing is not politics. It's not political. I was doing what I felt was important and is important now. I said, so when the political time comes, you will get my name. And then the other person said, oh, I rather don't want to meet with a candidate. I said, no, go and meet with that candidate. And if anybody is hearing me from District 14, whether you support Massa Dopoh or not, in your heart that you're going to vote for me, I want you to have a one-on-one conversation with all the candidates in this race. Let them take upon their time to tell you their plans, their way forward, and whether they can better represent you at the legislature. We don't need any more mumu. We don't need people using money. They even give you money. Ask them for their platform. Hold them accountable. Let it explain to you. So that's another narrative that we're going to change, that we're going to take in the district. You can sing some behind Massa Dopoh, but I want you to meet with every candidate in that district. Ask them for their platform. Let it explain to you the way forward. I want you to do it. And I will not hold it against you. Because we need to teach in this country here in Anthony. We see young children, we see young people. They go from political rallies to political rallies. They're listening to their candidates, especially at the local level. You know, ask them tough questions. Demand from them. If the person run away from you, then you know they will run away from you when they become representative.
All right. Two questions here quickly because of time. Who are you running against to unseat, meaning the person occupying that position right now? Why do you think that person needs to be replaced? That's question number one. Question number two, you are running. I'm sure there are things that are so dear to you, Massa.
Yeah.
What are those things that you think there got to be some form of legislation on? I know you to be somebody advocating for women's rights as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about those.
Okay. So the person who is in our district right now,
Mhm.
he's very invisible. This is somebody who has been there for 12 years and is now attempting to go for another 6 years. When Erie, 1% of the campaign promises or the living condition of our people has not changed. Do you see how selfish people can be? So my motivation to ready contest for this seat is actually based on the cries of my people. It's based on the neglect of our district. It's based on the destitute of our people. It's based on the manner in which our people and our district have been treated. No respect, no worth, and no dignity of a person. And so then you go in my district like I do, you will cry. You will cry. You understand? So this is the time. This is the time. And yes, I wherever I find myself today, I work so hard for it. I struggle. I cry. I have sleepless nights. But what is more important when you go back home and still see the living condition of your people, your district, and innocent children who are so innocent that they choose to be born in that kind of condition. So I'm leaving my comfort zone to be able to present myself as an alternative. And once I win, we're going to create a pathway to self-sufficiency for our people. I
Thank you.
contributed to it in the state of Delaware, and I will do it for my country and my community.
So finally now, look in the camera and speak to the people of district number 14. Why they should count on you and why this talk is not just any sweet talk that they have heard before. Your final page.
Okay. So, to my people of District 14, I empathize with them. You know, sometimes, and this is my story everywhere I go, it's hard for you to, be able to tell your story only because some people who don't know you, they will judge you by your current situation. And not all of the struggles you have been through, all of the suffering you have been through. But then you are glad that you were able to be delivered from those suffering, those struggles. And that's why I'm in this fight, to be able to deliver my people from that suffering, from that struggle. And so I say to my people of District 14, I empathize with you. Um, I'm ready on this. I'm ready in this to give back to my community and to give back to my people. I own this to everybody in the district. From Montana, I remember selling Holy roasted cassava at the Clarendon store, to Auntie Mary at the Mount Mary Clinic, who, when I was small, she used to give me, give everybody, in fact, everybody in the community, she can just treat them free when they're sick. Under the worst of condition, she sacrificed every day to make sure that women are giving birth safely, that children are well taken care of, health-wise. I own it to them. I own it to our Oma that sell the kobo, at the face-to-face kobo shop. I own it to her. When we were used to go to school, like the Clariton Elementary School, we leave from school, we stop to face, that Oma will always take her food and give it to us free to eat. I own it to her. I own it to the young people, the youth, the women, the children of District 14, who youthfulness have been paused only because there's nobody to create that pathway. There's nobody to give them that push to self-sufficiency. I own it to them. This election, we need change. This election, our future is on the line. Our children's future is on the line. Our district future is on the line. This election, we have to make the right decision, a sustainable decision. We cannot elect people who do not have our best interests. We cannot elect people only because they came with their bags of rice, their money. We cannot do that. We must elect people who have the experience, who are resourceful, who are skillful. It's a challenge. Visit all of the candidates in the district who have come forth to say they want to contest the representative seat in our district. Visit all of them. Ask them tough questions. One thing do not do. Don't allow them to buy your votes. Don't allow them to buy your future. Don't allow them to buy the future of your children and continue to suppress, depress, and neglect our district. Our people have turned to back us only because of bad leadership. Nobody was born poor. It's the terrible leadership that keeps people in poverty. Terrible leadership keeps people in poverty. So this is a challenge to you, District 14. Get out. Voter registration is coming up December 15th to January 6th. We're going to be in the district. Get out. Register to vote. That's your right. Register to vote. Even if you have not yet decided who to vote for, I want you to get out and register to vote. In this election, make that best decision for yourself and your children and your family and for our district. Thank you so much, Anthony, for having me on this platform.
Thank you. And thank you. And that was a very impressive page there, folks. We want to say thank you for following the broadcast. This is how we'll come to the end of this special interview with Massa Dopoh, 2023 representative aspirant for district number 14. On that note, the song that takes us home always and always says, "We are all Liberians." Massa Dopoh is a Liberian who wants to serve her people. We just hope that her people will give her that opportunity for her to do what she has explained that she would do to make their life better. Enjoy the song, "We Are All Liberians." Until we see you again, the name is Anthony Cyr from the Hour of Politics here, Focus on Liberia.
Thanks,
bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Oh,